morning, students. A splendid welcome to your first years, and I wish you a very bright future and all the best for your future. So, let's begin with our topic. Today, I'm going to discuss an overview of zoology syllabus of your first year, that is, intermediate first year zoology. So, I hope you all know the definition of zoology. So before going to the zoology, let's talk about biology. You have already studied regarding the definition of biology in your previous classes like ninth class, 8th class and almost in 10th class. Biology is nothing but the study of life of living organisms. So it is derived from the Latin word. This biology has two branches. One is botany and second one is zoology. Botany deals with the life of plants, whereas zoology deals with the life of animals. So today you are going to uh, know more about the syllabus which is included for your first year. So total you have 8 units in your first year zoology. The first unit is going to be the diversity of living world. Under this topic, you have so many subtopics like what is life. So in this first year, first you are going to learn about what is life and what is the difference between living organisms and the non-living organisms. And next, nature, scope and meaning of zoology. Third concept is different branches of zoology. What are the branches and what are the different concepts that are going to be learned in your first year zoology. And next, need for classification. So why organisms have to classify, why animals have to classify and how they are named, how the scientific name to an organism will be given in different ways. So that and the history of biological classification also you are going to study in your first year sub-concept, that is need for classification. And next is levels and hierarchy of classification. According to lineage, so what are the important levels and what are the maximum levels of classification to classify organisms into different groups. Classification is nothing but grouping of organisms. Next, nomenclature and then species concept. Concept of species is also you're going to learn in this first chapter. And finally, kingdom Animalia and biodiversity. Biodiversity is nothing but the differences among the entire living world. So in this biodiversity, you are going to study about meaning and distribution, that is genetic diversity, species diversity, ecosystem diversity, under that alpha, beta and gamma diversities, and other attributes of biodiversity, role of biodiversity, threats to biodiversity, methods of conservation of different organisms, and IUCN Red Data books, conservation of wildlife in India legislation, preservation, organizations, and threatened species. So this 1.1 to 1.10 includes under first unit, that is diversity of living world. The second chapter is going to be the structural organizations in animals. So in this we'll discuss protoplasmic organisms and metazoans. Protozoans and metazoans. Protozoans are the first organisms which were evolved for the first time and which are unicellular. Metazoans are the organisms which are multicellular. And the mode of organization, how the body has designed, the body organization was made to these two groups of organisms for their better life. Under this unit, the sub-concepts will be levels of organization, that is multicellularity, diploblastic and triploblastic conditions. Here diploblastic and triploblastic are nothing but the number of embryonic germ layers those organisms are having during their embryonic development. Di refers to 2 and tri refers to 3. Blastomas nothing but the layer. So how during course of evolution and during the course of embryonic development, the number of embryonic germ layers which were advanced right from 2 layers to 3 layers, that is diploblastic condition to triploblastic condition, that you are going to study under levels of organization. Then importance of symmetry. Symmetry is nothing but geometrical arrangement of body organs to receive the stimuli equally from all surroundings. So that geometrical arrangement of different organs and different organisms are going to be studied under symmetry. And in this, we are going to study importance of symmetry and different types of symmetries like asymmetry, radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry. And then coelom. These are nothing but the key transitions of evolution. The first key transition is levels of organization. Second key transition during the course of evolution is importance of symmetry. And third key transition is development of the coelom. So three are the key transitions during the course of evolution of animals. So coelom is nothing but body cavity, how the body cavity has developed right from embryonic development, and how this body cavity is helping in movements of body organs and movements of an organism. And different types of coeloms we are going to study like acoelom, pseudocoelom and eucoelom. And the organisms which are possessing these different coeloms are called acoelomates, pseudocoelomates and eucoelomates. Eucoelomates are again of two types, schizocoelomates and enterocoelomates. The entire brief account of all these different types of coelom and their formation we are going to study on the coelom part. Next, animal tissues. So how the cell is undergoing proliferation, how the tissues are formed, and what are the different functions of the tissues and different types of tissues we are going to study under structural organization in animals. This is the second unit. Then coming to the third chapter, that is Animal Diversity 1. Diversity, already I told you, the different lifestyles, differences among different living organisms we are going to study under part 1, that is Animal Diversity 1, which includes invertebrate phyla. Invertebrates are nothing but the group of organisms which do not possess a vertebral column or which do not have a backbone. Those are called invertebrates. So under this unit, we are going to study the general characters or important features of each and every class and the different classifications of the invertebrate phyla. So different phyla of invertebrates include phylum Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda or Nemathelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata and Hemichordata. Right from Porifera to Echinodermata, all are invertebrates. Hemichordata, hemi means semi. It is not completely an invertebrate. This is not completely a vertebrate. So these hemichordates are having both the characters of invertebrates as well as vertebrates. Hence, hemichordates are considered to be the connecting links between invertebrates and vertebrates. So, all these phyla important features or salient features of these individuals and their classification we are going to study under animal diversity 1, which is nothing but invertebrate phyla group. Then fourth unit comprise the second part of the diversity of organisms, that is animal diversity 2. So how the organisms are exhibiting differences among the vertebrates. So this is vertebrate phyla. Okay, in this also, the animal diversity 2, we are going to study general characters, that is silent features of each and every class and their classifications. Under this unit, we are going to discuss phylum Chordata, under this subphylum Urochordata or Tunicata, which is important for your IPE purpose, subphylum Cephalochordata, subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata. Under this, superclass Anata and Gnathostomata. Gnathostomata includes fishes like Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. And then tetrapods. Tetrapods include amphibians, and you're going to study frog as type study in this. Next, fifth chapter is going to be the locomotion and reproduction, especially in protozoans. So locomotion and reproduction. This is nothing but these are the two important features exhibited by organisms. So one is locomotion, means animals are moving from one place to another place. Changing of place is locomotion. So why organisms are moving from one place to another place? To procure food material, or to escape from the enemies, or to search for their mates during reproduction. So, for these three aspects, organisms are exhibiting a tendency called locomotion. And then, a very important life process to increase the generation of a species, every organism tend to continue its generation. So, each and every organism is undergoing a special process called reproduction. So locomotion and reproduction is the first unit, fifth unit of your first year syllabus. Under this, locomotion in protozoa, that is types of locomotor structures like pseudopodia, flagella and cilia we are going to discuss in detail. Flagellar and ciliary movement. Then reproduction definitions like different types of reproductions, asexual reproduction, under which we are going to study longitudinal binary fission and transverse binary fission in paramecium and multiple fission. And finally, sexual reproduction in protozoans. These are the different topics you are going to study under locomotion and reproduction. Next, coming to the sixth unit, that is biology in human welfare. How the biological organisms are favoring the human beings and how they are affecting the life of the human beings in spite being getting benefited from the human beings. So under this, we are going to discuss an interesting topics as we are facing many problems, health issues, and we don't know exactly what are the reasons for our health issues. So minimum knowledge you're going to get in this unit, that is in biology and human welfare. So under this we are going to discuss in detail the parasitism and parasitic adaptations. Parasite, you all know, the disease causing organisms or an organism which depend on other organism for food are called parasites. And these parasites, in spite getting food from the host, they are causing much damage to the body. So what are the different diseases caused by different parasites to human beings? We are going to study under biology in human welfare. And we are going to discuss about health and disease, differences between health and disease, an introduction of this topic, then life cycles of different parasites, their pathogenicity means their disease causing nature, and treatment and prevention to avoid getting those diseases. So what are the different parasites we are going to study in this chapter are Entamoeba histolytica, Plasmodium vivax, Ascaris lumbricoides, Wuchereria bancrofti. Entamoeba histolytica belongs to the phylum Protozoa. Plasmodium vivax is also a protozoan. Ascaris lumbricoid is a nematode, and Wuchereria bancrofti is also a nematode. So these two last two parasites are roundworms, whereas first two parasites are the protozoans. Next, brief account of some other diseases like pathogenicity, treatment of typhoid, pneumonia, common cold, and ringworm. So all these diseases also we are going to study under biology, human welfare. And finally, tobacco, drug and alcohol abuse. Nowadays, the youngsters, the teenagers are very much addicted to the drugs and tobacco, alcohol use, and they are not using it properly. So that's why what are the effects of abuse of tobacco, drugs and alcohol, that we are going to study under biology, human welfare. Let's move on. Seventh chapter is going to be the type study of your best friend which is roaming in your kitchen and halls, etc. So that is nothing but Periplaneta americana. It is commonly called cockroach. Type study refers to entire systematic study and detailed study of a single species organism, that is called type study. So in this seventh chapter we are going to discuss in detail the different habitat of cockroach, external features or morphology of the cockroach, and its way of locomotion, how it's walking and running, and different systems of the cockroach, how it is surviving its life. So the different systems which are helping the cockroach to survive in a better way, those systems we are going to study, that is respiratory, digestive, respiratory, circulatory, excretory, nervous system and reproductive systems of cockroach. Eighth unit, this is the last unit, that is ecology and environment. So every individual, every human being is having, they must have concern towards our environment. So in detail, we are going to study the ecological conditions and environmental issues and how we have to conserve our own environment. Those things we are going to discuss under ecology and environment. Under this, 8.1 to 8.8 are the subtopics, that is organism and environment. Second is ecosystem. Third one is population interactions. Fourth is ecosystems and their components. Fifth one is food chains, food web, productivity, and energy flow in the ecosystem, and different ecological pyramids. You have came across all these topics in your lower classes like 10th and 9th. Nutrient cycles like carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus cycles, population attributes, growth, natality, mortality, age distribution, population regulation, etc. And environmental issues also we are going to discuss under this topic. Environmental issues like global warming, greenhouse effect, and how we have to conserve our environment. Entire thing we are going to discuss under ecology and environment. I hope you got an idea that how many units you have and what are the subunits uh, in each unit. Okay, let's move on. So I would like to explain you the blueprint. Blueprint was discovered by John Hendrick in the year 1842. This blueprint is nothing but it's a design plan, technical design, which is put on paper to explain in detail the topics. Here, in your first year, I told you you have total 8 units. From these 8 units, in your final examination or in your IP examination, you are going to get 76 marks paper. Out of 76, you have to answer only 60 marks paper. And the time duration for your examination will be 3 hours. Let me explain you from each unit how many marks you are going to get. Okay, in the first unit, that is zoology, diversity of living world, the total weightage of marks is 6. Means you are going to get one very short question and one 4 marks question. Total weightage is 6 marks. From the second unit, you are going to get 3 2 marks questions. Means you have to concentrate more on the very short questions of the structural organizations in animals. 3 very short and one 4 marks question. Each very short question carries 2 marks and short answer question carries 4 marks. So total marks, total weightage from that unit is 10. Then from third unit, that is diversity 1 invertebrate phyla, you are going to get 6 marks weightage. That is from very short question, one very short question and one short answer question. From fourth unit, animal diversity 2, total weightage is 6 marks, same as the third unit, one very short and one short answer, 4 marks question. And from fifth unit, total weightage is 8 marks, 2 very short questions you are going to get and one short answer question, one 4 marks question. And from sixth unit, biology and human welfare, total weightage is 14 marks. So this is very, 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 very important even for your competitive exams. So from this unit, you are going to get one very short, one short question, and 1 long question. Essay type of questions carry 8 marks. Total 14 marks is a weightage of 6th unit. 7th unit, type of periplanetous type study, that is cockroach type study. From this unit you are going to get 14 marks, that is 1 4 marks question and 1 essay type of question. And then from the last unit, ecology and environment, total weightage is 14 marks, and you're going to get 1 very short, 1 4 marks and 1 8 marks question, that is essay type of question. So total marks, total weightage from the first year for IP exam is 76 marks. Out of 76, you have to answer only 60 marks paper. So now I would like to show you the model question paper of your first year to get an idea how you have to answer to get 60 marks. So let us discuss model question paper. So students, please observe here. The time duration for your IP exam is 3 hours and maximum marks will be 60. And your question paper is having 3 sections. Section A, Section B and Section C. Section A consists of very short questions. Total 10 very short questions. Each question carries 2 marks. So you have to answer all the questions. No choice will be given from the section A. Section B is including short answer questions. Each question carries 4 marks. So in the section B, you will be given 8 questions. Out of 8, any 6 you have to answer. Your choice. Okay? No choice in the first section. In the section A, there is no choice for you. Whereas in section B, you have 2 choices. So out of 8, you have to answer 6 questions. Each question carries 4 marks. And section C include essay type or long answer type of questions. And each question carries 8 marks. You will be given 3 questions. Out of 3, you have to answer any 2. That is, one question is choicefully, any 2. Okay, there is no restriction. But coming to section A, you have to answer all the questions and you have to answer for 20 marks. So each question carries 2 marks. Okay. So let me go back. I would like to tell you the weightage for MSET from the first year syllabus. Please note down, students. From the first unit, that is diversity of living world, for your MSET purpose, you will be getting 3% of questions. Means total 160 questions will be there for MSET. Out of 160, each subject, botany, zoology, physics and chemistry, each subject carries 40 marks. When you come to zoology part, you will be getting 40 questions. Out of 40, 50% from first year and 50% from the second year. So weightage from the first unit, out of 20 questions, if I say, out of 20 questions from diversity of living world, you are going to get 3% of questions for your MSET and 10% of questions for your NEET purpose from this first unit. So diversity of living world is very important for NEET rather than MSET. Okay. Next, coming to second unit. From second unit, you won't get any questions from the MSET point of view, but in NEET, you will be getting 2% question. That is one question, at least minimum one question you will get from structural organizations for NEET purpose. Then coming to third unit, animal diversity 1, for MSET purpose, will be getting 11% of questions. So this is very, very, very important. You have to concentrate more on invertebrate phyla to answer very well in the MSET point of view. So 11% of questions you will get from invertebrate phyla. Then coming to animal diversity 2, that is fourth unit, 7% of questions we are going to get for MSET. This is also important. And from fifth unit, locomotion and reproduction, only 2% of questions you are going to get. And from sixth unit, 15%. Biology and human welfare is also holding much importance uh, in distribution of questions for MSET purpose. So diversity 1 is taking part 11% of questions, whereas biology and human welfare sixth unit is standing at 15% of questions. And then Periplaneta Americana, you're going to get only 3%, whereas from ecology and environment, total 8% of questions you are going to for your MSET. So here I discussed only two topics for NEET, that is diversity of living world and then structural organizations. So why I have discussed only two units means NEET syllabus is quite different from the MSET syllabus. So all units are important for MSET, and especially the invertebrate phyla as well as biology and human welfare are you have to concentrate more. And for IPE point of view, you have to concentrate more on biology, human welfare, Periplaneta Americana, and ecology and environment, from where you are getting long answer questions. I hope. Yeah.